Come on and shit, fuck. Come on, little booner, and dance with me. Come on, motherfucker, and dance. Little shit, fuck. Come on, motherfucker, and dance with me. Anyways, whew, first off, again, I apologize for the fan. I'll try to talk loud, but my fucking AC literally died, and it's still kind of fucking warm out. It's still August. It's still fucking hot. Anyways, this is gonna be the last. I hope, like the fucking. You know what? I gotta roll over. Hold on. Oh, my back. Oh, God, my fucking back. Alright, I'm gonna unplug this goddamn 2-inch cord. Alright. Hopefully this sounds a little better. Whew. Oh, God. Shit. Fuck. Now I'm dizzy. Oh, Christ. Now I'm dizzy. Whoa, hold on. Whew, that's some euphoria. Holy shit. The fucking room is spinning. Like, literally, the fucking back wall just smacked me in the fucking tits. Holy Christ. Okay, I think I'm good. Whew. Fucking A, dude. Anyways. Now, this is probably going to be, hopefully, a short one, because I only got 25%, and I'm trying to charge up the battery. And this fucking battery. I would have been done with this, like, 3 days ago if it wasn't for the fucking battery. Because what happened was, like, last night, yeah, it was late last night. I charged the fucking thing, and I turned over, took a nap, woke up like 3-4 hours later, and went out, got a drink, came back, and when I wanted to, pick up the tablet and use it, I look and it's still 9 fucking percent. It didn't charge for some reason. The little cord wiggled or something. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. Whatever. Yeah, now I'm already down to 24%. Jesus. So anyway, this is gonna be like a last update. I hope. Maybe there's one more. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I got to roll over. That's what I got to do first. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the table of contents separate, because I found it easier going through all that stuff if I could have the table of contents on a separate page. I'll also put it in the grand compilation part of it, obviously, but I don't know if you want a second, but I'll send it to you anyway. Just kind of like a, basically, I guess you could say like a preview. Anyways, I want to go through all this. I'm mainly going through the table of contents and the what do you call these, chapter names? Because I am pretty much fucking done. I maybe got like 6 or 7 more stories to actually get through. So yeah, this is the home fuck stretch, bitch. This is it. Okay, so we start out with the prologue. That's entitled "My NDE Near-Death Experience" in parentheses. The day I saw God and He rejected me. I like that, dude. I like that, and I really like how it. I don't know. I like how it starts off. I did slightly tweak the original title. Now we have part 1, A Frolicking Father and More of the Same, and I added More of the Same Religious Tomfoolery. Now, I don't know if you can tweak that a little bit, because, again, we're talking, the prologue was about God, and then it goes into Dale T. Spillane in the Spirit, and then he gets baptized, so I was kind of going with that, but you can tweak that however you want, I don't know. But anyway, it's part 1, A Frolicking Father and More of the Same Religious Tomfoolery. Again, I don't know if it works. It's just kind of what I was thinking at the time. Again, you can just go back to what it was, A Frolicking Father, More of the Same. Just leave it at that. It's up to you. I don't care. Then the actual first chapter, The Day Dale T got slain in the Spirit. I fucking love that story. I can't express how much I love that story. Again, the concept of him getting slain, well, just in general, because the preacher would put their hand in your forehead and kind of give you that push, and you're like, oh, and you kind of get tipped over, and he kind of fell. Just the idea of the ushers walking over him, and then he was too embarrassed to get up. So, literally, honest to God, everybody had left. He was still laying there. The old woman and I are out in the car waiting, and I'm like, where's Dale T? And the old woman's like, your father's embarrassed. He's waiting for everybody to leave. And literally the usher puts a blanket on him, shuts the fucking light off. And he's like, he basically shout out, lock the door when you leave, Dale T. Okay. He's laying on the ground. Whatever. The next part, I put it as a sub-chapter, but I don't know if it really is. I don't know if it should be its own chapter. Whatever. Again, you can do whatever you want with that. It's entitled On the Not So Golden Pond, the Bolster's Pond, the day Dale T got baptized. Again, you can tweak that. I was kind of going with the On Golden Pond theme and how... Because, if you ever watch the movie, it's like this beautiful pond, these old people sitting in a boat, and it's just... And you got Bolster's Pond, who's just like sludge and fucking filth and dead frogs and shit. It's putrid. It's like a swamp. And then just the idea of Dale T slipping. The idea they were holding him, like dipping him back, like you're supposed to, and his foot slips and he starts panic kicking. Absolutely hysterical concept. I love that idea. Now I did keep Cruelty Beyond Simple Abuse only because I added the prologue and then I added the bolster stuff, so it's not technically like the second story anymore. It's more like the third. I still don't know how I feel about that story. I really do want it in there, but it's just, the story doesn't excite me. But it's interesting, because it's one where the cat died, and I don't know. Unless you want to move that slightly somewhere within the first part, or maybe even the early second part, I don't know. It depends. If it flows good, because again, it goes from the near-death experience, Dale T slain in the spirit, Dale T getting baptized, and it goes into, well, technically, then it goes into Dale T being hospitalized because he had cat scratch fever, and Gene singing old Ted Nugent songs to him and buying cassette tapes with Ted Nugent, and they killed my cat, basically. My cat got away, or whatever happened to my cat, and it died, and whatever. It's kind of a weird transition, but actually, that might go better somewhere between where it is and Gene's arrival, because I don't know. That one I'm iffy about, so you can do whatever you want. No, this title can be tweaked as well slightly, but I kind of did it for a reason, because, well, the next one is Lobster Tails and Seaweed Legs. The family vacation so good we did it twice. Actually, I kind of like that, because the point was we went to Cape Cod and we were going to have lobster, because Gene was all haughty and like, oh, we're gonna go out and do like what rich people do. We're gonna eat lobster, and it was fucking gross. I don't know if you've had lobster. I'm assuming you have. It's fucking nasty. And then the seaweed legs, obviously that part of it. The family vacation, and we did it twice. We ended up doing it in 1989 or 1988, and then 1990 we did it again. I then go into Big Dumb Waterman. I don't know why I like that story. I like the fact that, well, first off, Big Dumb Waterman, it was just, he was like 35 in 8th grade. I mean, it was just, he was a bully, and it was my bully story. Now, this story, I know you sort of had a problem with it, because I was kind of like trashing liberals and stuff. You're messing with the wrong guy. This story, I wanted in there because of just how fucking stupidly insane it was. The purpose of the story was, I was minding my own business, and all of a sudden one day I basically get called down to the office, and I'm being accused of doing all these sexual horrific things. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? Now keep in mind, I'm like first, second grade here, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Now, I have my suspicions that the girl in question was being molested at home by her father, just because of stuff that I heard from the grapevine through the old woman working at the store next door, and just what I know of the fucking family, but that's neither here nor there. And I don't know, it's an odd story, but it's like I want it in there. Now you can play it up where maybe it's not as anti-liberal or whatever. I don't necessarily care about that per se. I did kind of trash. Well, the woman had like these degrees and stuff, and I use the term liberal arts degree, and I was saying it more sarcastically. Like she had these degrees and stuff in psychology, and like every time you, like if I blink twice, it means I'm sexually repressed. It was stupid shit like that, and she's trying to perpetrate all this knowledgeable, questionable, faux science bullshit onto a fucking kid who wasn't even doing anything. I think what it was I had itched my inner I was sitting there in a chair and I itched my thigh with my pencil, and this girl happened to see it, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm telling the teacher that you're doing sexual perverse things." I mean, literally, I rubbed the inside of my thigh with the pencil. Okay. And I get called down to the office for, basically rape. I mean, they basically accused me of raping this person. And then I was this monster for... I don't know, it's an interesting story. Needless to say, that woman wasn't principal very long. So, I don't know. You can take it for what it's worth, but... I want the story in there because it's, like I said, it was important to me because it put a stigma on me because all the teachers thought I was a sexual predator, basically. Because obviously they're going to take her word over mine. I did nothing to her, at all. I didn't touch her or stick my finger up her ass or anything like that. I wasn't the only one who got called down either. I mean, it was almost one of those, and I don't know if this is just a trend that follows me, but it was almost like No Touch Love. Actually, this is almost like the prequel to No Touch Love, where it was, we all got called down there, and we're like, oh, you're evil for being boys, and you got, this, that. It was just a lot of bullshit for kids who weren't even thinking of that kind of stuff. Yet this girl is just seeing something innocent and being like, blowing it completely out. I don't know, it's just a really weird thing, and I wanted to document it just because, it's my way of saying fuck you to these people because, it's been damn near, 35 years, I mean, come on, man. I don't know, it's just a weird story. I do want it in there, but you have to take it for what it is and not be, offended or whatever. I don't know. Let's see, what's the next one? My name is Pico. This fucking story, this one annoys me. This one really does. It annoys me because it's basically the story of the flies, where the flies just want to roll on me and just walk on me and just nosedive into me and shit. So, you can have fun playing that one up. Let's see. Next one is Gene's Arrival. I actually like this story. It's stupid. It has, no purpose other than I document almost like in a mime play sort of way of Gene coming home. I'm playing it up in my mind and I'm just explaining it. You hear her walking through the house, so on and so forth. Really not much with that one. I like that it's broken up into Act 1, Scene 1, and then Scene 1, Act 2, which is just kind of a joke. Not really funny, but it's just, I don't know. Let's see, the next one, I did put this one back. It's funny how the hot dogs are kosher, but Jesus Christ ain't. Which, again, you have to understand it, and I know... I jokingly said that to her once, and she's like, trying to explain that kosher isn't about, people. Which totally defied the point. Obviously, it's a joke. In other words, if the hot dogs are cool, why isn't Christ? That's basically the concept. Now, I do want to point out that I want two quotes from Johnny Cash. I want one from Solitary Man, like a good little snippet of the bass lyric, and another one of his songs is called "She Used to Love Me a Lot." because I love that song. I don't know if you've heard it or actually have it, but it starts off where like I walked into the Silver Spoon Cafe. I saw her sitting there. Blah blah blah. I used to love her a lot. Blah blah blah. I got the nerve to talk to her and said, we can start up again. I used to love her a lot. Blah blah. And it finally gets to the end where he's like, I'm yours. Come take me. And it's like, she gets up and walks away and says, I'm in need of something, but something you ain't it, or something you ain't got, or whatever the fuck she says. And it goes into, I used to love you a lot. And I want to quote that part of it, in case I don't put it in case I forget. That could be in like the Sarah part or the remembering the past. See, I like the way that's set up because it's Sarah. Remember, then the next part is remembering the past, and then the last part is knowing the present. So it's like you got this like display of vulgarity, if you will, from it was a sweet little moment to it's like what the fuck, and then holy shit, we're all going to hell. See the next one, manhood and the size of my email account. I swear to Christ, Mandela motherfucking effect. That story was in book 1. I remember seeing it in print. I remember seeing it open in that fucking book that I got sitting right here, the actual copy, and seeing that fucking story in there because I remember thinking, I wrote this a while ago. Like I wrote this after the fact, that I was kind of surprised that it made it in at the last minute. I remember thinking that. And yet here it is in this one, so whatever. That one you can have fun with, because I'm sure you've experienced it too, where it's like you go to your email and it's like, oh, here, take some dick pills or whatever, or here's some, Geico commercial bullshit, whatever. It was fun. It was just for fun. The next one, the Shining Teeth of Salvation, the story still yet to be told. I like this story. I don't know why. It's not the greatest story, I don't think. Well, it's the death of my grandmother, basically, Dale T's mother. Yeah, dude, this book is a lot about death. I did not realize this. My cat, Jesus, dude, my cat died. My grandmother died. My mother died. I mean, and that's just the first opening act of the fucking book. We're not even into part 2 yet. Jesus. I mean, seriously, the idea that 2005 was such a kick in the dick. Honest to God, she left me 3 days before Christmas. A week and a half later, early January, my mother dies. Sometime around maybe June or July, middle of June probably, my favorite wrestler, Eddie Guerrero, dies. And then in November, my favorite Christian band, Petra, decide they're going to retire. It's like 2005 was a serious stomp to the fucking nuts for me. And I'm just going to throw that out to you. Anyways, let's see. Shining Teeth of Salvation, story yet to be told. Next part is Pastor B's salvation message, how we all went to heaven. I actually like the way that is because that's kind of what happened. Because he got her saved, and then Pastor Morn came and got a lot of the kith and kin saved. It was really interesting because he talked about, he didn't know our family for shit, but he knew like the local area, and he was talking about the local area, and it was this Harden's Furniture. I'm sure you know of it. Well, 90% of them work there, and it went out of business, and he was talking about that, and because he brought that up, they were like, whoa, holy shit. So it was a really interesting little moment, and a lot of them raised their hand when they did the altar call. Now, it doesn't mean anything, but, it is what it is. Anyways, detention after the fact. I like this story, too. It's the one where you were at the house, probably still living in the closet, ironically. Which we should definitely talk about that. Yeah, if you want to do a story about that, throw it in here somewhere, of you living in the closet and just the whole, just what it was like and just what was going on. Like you were going to college or whatever, you were doing all this stuff, and you lived at my house, basically in my closet, and slept in my chair. Again, if you want to add that, feel free to. But yeah, you were in the fucking chair, and at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, the phone kept ringing. and ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing. And then it would ring out. A few seconds later, it would start again. Finally, after a while, I got up. And after about like the third time, I'm like, I pick up the phone. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, what the fuck's going on? What can I do for you, asshole? And next thing I know, I hear Pastor Simmons going, saying, what? I can't hear you. I can't, blah, blah, blah. It was absolutely hysterical. So yeah, that one's kind of a fun one. And obviously not at the time, mind you, but let's see. Anyways, now we're on to part 2. When life swings it a little to the left. Again, you can tweak that or whatever you want to do. Things we do for the ones we love. I like that story. It's one with Lucy's anniversary day. We had a little birthday party for her. Again, it's just kind of fun. This one was new that I added. A Dale T flashback. A Dale T flashback. The memory is better than the real thing. I don't remember what the hell that story is about. Whatever. Chronicles of the Beard. It's not that long, but I don't know. It was just fun. It was a fun little read. Maybe I'll say, I found the original that I had. I had gone and done this huge, I'm talking like 20 pages. I condensed this thing down to about a page and a half. I did over 20 pages of, like, historical background. Like, I went back, like, in a history book type shit. And did this, all the, like, where the beard had been throughout history, like, War 1812, and like I actually find like a story within it and say, okay, this is where the beard actually was. Like, there was a man who was, burly beard, and he, brought food to the people or something like it. It was just, I literally, it was the most in-depth, detailed thing I've done in like ever. So I may have to send you the original just so you can get, kind of a tickle out of that fucker, because it was basically the equivalent of haiku. Well, actually, no. This was actually intelligently done, unlike the haiku poetry thing. So you can take it for what it's worth. Where did I leave off? Chronicles of the Beard. I love this title. It's kind of convoluted, but I love it. The Christian and the Jew, kind of like Peter and the Wolf, minus the whimsical woodland instruments and a whole lot more BS. I love that title because I love Peter and the Wolf. I've loved that since I was a kid. So I had that fucking record player, and the old woman bought me the little record of it. And like each character had their own little chime and little jingle. I think that's why I like Chrono Trigger, where it's like every character had their own unique music. I fucking love that. I may have to buy that for your kids or something. I don't know. Because just something about that music, it's like, it stuck with me. It was just, and I played all the, because dude, I had that record player, and I had the Three Stooges album where they were singing and dancing, and Do the Curly Shuffle. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Absolutely hysterical. There was something else that I can't remember, and then it was Peter and the fucking Wolf. Oh, dude, oh my god, I gotta listen to that Peter and the Wolf again. Whatever. Let's see. Dale T and the Angst for Sloppy Joes. The idea that he tried to convince me that the one-room schoolhouse served him only Sloppy Joes for like an entire year. And that's why he hates them. Let's see. Dale T probes her us. 6-part miniseries. Dale T's anal probe. I remember that. Holy shit. And I love what I did. I did 3 days earlier. The console from the old woman, 2 days left. Only a day left until the big probe. Countdown to 0 hour, and rectal probe aftermath. Yeah, this is the one where he was so distraught over the situation that, like, the day before he went out to eat at the Chinese buffet in Rome, and he ended up calling my mother, and he's like, there's something wrong, something happened. And my mother's like, what happened, Dale-T? Well, I didn't mean to do it, but I took a piss in the women's bathroom. He's literally in the women's bathroom, urinating. He's like, I got in there, and I was like, where'd all the urinals go? This guy's a fucking idiot. That in and of itself needs to be in the book. Um, let's see. Oh, mindfuck. How the doctrine of no-touch love really mindfucked us boys. Again, I would take out the second mindfuck because it's mindfuck colon. Mindfuck colon. Yeah, that's funny. How the doctrine of no-touch love really mindfucked us boys. I don't know. You have to tweak that one. You can see where I'm going with it, but you can tweak that one. This is also another fun. And I even got a good quote because most of the quotes that I'm either using like song lyrics like Johnny Cash or something that's important like Metallica or something that's like you know what they are. Like the average person knows who it's from. But most of the quotes I'm taking right off Pearls of Peter, the shit that I said. So a lot of them are my quotes, and I got a really good one for this one. And let's see, what's the title? The clinically insane ramblings of an orange-haired cult leader who spoke to God with a heavy, thick Maine accent and who had a lust for yodeling. And the quote was something like, "If God why no, it's I don't understand why Christians like to get all cock bent over yodeling. If God likes yodeling, or if God loves yodeling, then I don't love God," or something like that. It was absolutely perfect. It works with it, so whatever. My mother in the church building fund. That was a great story. My mother's evil report: how not to treat her during her battle with cancer. The Boohoo Brigade. Thanks for the chime, you fucker. The Boohoo Brigade, trolling people with an apology but not really meaning it. Again, I love the way the mindfuck, the clinical ramblings of a man who likes yodeling, I'm just the way those go together, and then goes right into, boom, we're picking up caskets for my mother. I love the transition on that. No, I'm not saying it's worded properly or it's but there's definitely something there. Anyways, let's see the next part. This one you can switch. I don't know how I feel about it. I know what I was going for, and I don't know. But the whole I gotta hurry up. Oh, I got 14% left. Damn it. I was going for more Johnny Cash and something death related. Anyways, it's hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing, multitudes are marching to the big kettle drum, voices calling, voices crying. It's a little long, but I don't hate it, but I don't know, if you don't like it, you do whatever you want. I mean, I couldn't think of anything, and I thought that was just, it worked, and it was just, and then you quote Johnny Cash from There Ain't No Grave. You quote a couple lines from that. I think it worked really well. And then it goes into the first story, once a Catholic, always a Catholic. They're truly persistent, which is actually funny because the reason it's in quotes is because it's something Graham said. She's sitting at the table and she's like, I always say, Peter, I always say, once a Catholic, always a Catholic. Whatever, Graham. And then the next one is The Old Woman on Display, hosted by Weird Al. Now, a common theme, there's definitely a lot of themes I've noticed in this as I was going through it. There's a shitload of themes. Like, there's one theme about, oh shit, I can't remember. Dale T and the haircut, there's that theme. I don't know, just a lot of little themes that when you read it, like, for example, there might be a part in, like, one chapter where I just randomly say something, like, oh, Graham said this, and then, like, 10 chapters later, I bring it up again, like, oh, remember when Graham said this? I mean, so you have to kind of be careful with some of that stuff, also. Anyways, and the theme here is that everyone that showed up looked like a famous celebrity, or at least I was picturing them as. Like, I swear to God, I don't know what it is about Pastor Dan, but he reminds me of Phil Collins. I don't know why. I'm not saying it looks like him. I'm not even saying acts like him. It's just, there's something about it. It reminds me of him. Actually, he looks like Chris Wallace to me from Fox News, in a way. Mixed with a little bit of Robin Williams. Whatever. Anyways, it's just, I was just sitting there, and my mother's dead, and I'm like 10 feet away from her, and my mind was just going that day. It was like, my back was hurting, and all I could do was think about Pastor Dan looking like Chris Wallace, or, the fact that I actually have an Uncle Buck, who has this huge, gigantic gut. Not that I don't, but I mean, like, if you looked at him, he is like one of those badass kind of biker-looking dudes with the long hair and the beard and the Fu Manchu kind of big, mustache. He looked like what's his name there? What was his name? He died from that band. What the fuck was his name? Motorhead there, whatever his name is. He kind of looked like that. He has that look, but he has this huge gut that just sticks straight out. Now you got a picture. I'm sitting there, he's standing in front of me, and literally all I can see is his gut. And again, I'm not making fun of like his gut. I do want to make that point clear in the story. But again, just the idea that I actually have an Uncle Buck. His name's Bucky. I mean, there's a whole movie reference. I mean, there's a whole bunch of shit, and whatever. Anyways, on with the thing. I love this title. I really do. We didn't just put the fun back in funeral. We put the FU in as well. That is a good fucking title. The Godfather and All in the Family star-studded event, which is what I was talking about, which then goes back to hosted by Weird Al. So it's kind of, so you got Weird Al, it's just a whole bunch of people there. Yeah, and continuing on, the aftermath that I caught Tim McGraw shelving off my roof, which is my uncle, Dale T's sister's husband. He's up on the roof. He's got this really sweet-looking black hat, like one of those hillbilly hats, and it's like just really like something you'd see. Not one of those hillbilly ones, but it's hillbilly, but more like something you see Clint Eastwood wearing. Like a really badass looking black hat. Like I would wear something because it just looks so cool. It's not one of those yeehaw hats. It's more like this is legit. Like it's got the little thing around the side and it's a legit fucking black hat, and it's just he's up on the roof. He's got his leather boots on, he's trying to basically emulate Tim McGraw. It's fucking disgusting, but whatever. I almost called the cops on him because he's up on my roof looking like Tim McGraw, but that's neither here nor there. Now, this story, I don't know about, there's something about this story. Sarah the First Year in Review, I don't like the title, that's first off. And you're going to have to read it and see if you can't just come up with like a quirky little title. Now that one I'd like to maybe put those Johnny Cash songs like Solitary Man and She Used to Love Me a Lot, because I think they would fit there. Or one of the sections with her in it. There's like 3 different sections with her in it, so whatever. I don't know how I feel. Now there's one section that I put in and I wasn't really paying attention to where it should go. There's a part where she referred to me as her little secret, as in she liked being, with me, I guess you could say, even though it was all not, whatever. But she couldn't tell her mother, obviously, because she's Orthodox Jew and I'm a born-again Christian. And it's like, oh, Mom, I, really got a thing for somebody who loves Jesus, So I became, quote-unquote, her little secret. And I wanted to put that in there, and I did, but I didn't really pay attention to the paragraph or whatever it was. I didn't really pay attention to where I placed it. So that paragraph, when you get to it, might be out of place in conjunction with the paragraph before and after. So if you could just kind of take that paragraph and like widget it in somewhere where it makes sense, just throwing that out there. I mean, it might be okay where it is, but I didn't really go back and read it, and I don't plan to because I'm kind of done with that chapter, and I want nothing to do with it. That one specifically. The first one I liked. The second one, I don't know. There's just stuff in there I wanted to mention. There's just things that just irritated me, and I wanted to mention. Because it went from, because you gotta understand, the way it plays out, the 3 chapters, it starts off with like, oh, everything she does is so cute. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then it gets into, I don't know what the fuck happened. Holy shit, what's going on? And then it's like, because back in the day, like, all of a sudden you hear that cha-ching, cha-ching, and blah, 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 or whatever. And I was like, oh my god. I'd run and be like, oh my god, I can't wait. And I'd go to my computer, and, oh, she's there, and it was so great, and I was like, I can't wait. And then all of a sudden, like when she wanted me to help put her kid through Hebrew school, I get the email, because, you get the email and you see the name, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to say. Anyways, by the last one that I received from her, I sat there for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, and it's like, I didn't feel anything. It was like, fuck this bitch, So it was kind of an interesting little transition. So, I like when you put it all together. But it's that middle section. But again, I wanted that shit in there. I don't know why I wanted it in there. It's one of those things that may be too much information. Like, I might be like... But I think it's relevant, because I went back through it. I deleted a bunch of stuff. I redid a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of... I think it definitely flows. I started reading it in the beginning of it, I like. But toward the end, it got a little more... I don't know. But, whatever. Anyways, this story... This actually kind of goes back to the Tim McGraw stuff and the Weird Al stuff. A life journey finally told. This is the story about the fucking saltine cracker. And if you know about the goddamn saltine cracker, the saltine cracker is Jesus Christ. And it comes right after the Sarah story about she's Jewish and she hates Jesus. So the whole point was it was kind of a religious thing where it was like, have you considered the destiny and the life of a saltine cracker? Like how it, its buttery goodness and how it's created and how it's created for a sole purpose. It's basically, its destiny is basically to nourish the body and to save the body from hunger and to just fulfill its destiny, essentially. And I did go into the fact that the destiny was to ultimately end up in my septic tank after I've eaten it and it's gone through my bowels. So there was kind of that little play. And I accompany that concept of it just going through my bowels and through my colon and ending up in the toilet. I then equate that to the pharaohs of the Nile, where they would die and they would go down the Nile with the boatmen. I don't know if you know about all that stuff, but it's really cool. Kind of fucked up, but kind of cool. And then at the end, literally like a temple of fucking doom, the gods would reach into the dude's heart, plunge out his heart, put it on a scale, and weigh it with a feather. And I went into all this fucking shit about that and how, kind of fucked up it is, but... And then, I don't know. And then at the end, I revealed that the saltine cracker is Jesus. So it was just kind of like, she hates Jesus, so fuck you. You hate saltine crackers too, bitch. It was, I don't know what I was thinking, but I want the story in it because it's really interesting little transition. I don't know. I enjoyed it. And I want you to see my vision for it because, like, you took out some stories that I really had, like Little House on the Canary. Something about that story, The Woman and Her Five Kind, which I almost want to revive that one. But you took out some stories before, and some of them I totally get. Some of them it's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you take out The One and Her Five Kind? I wanted to tell a story about the woman who thought who felt it was Jesus telling her that I got low fucking battery at 10% and I'm not even half done. Fuck! That she needed to have 5 children so she could name them after Jesus, basically. Dude, that needs to be in this. That needs to be in the book. That shit needs to be in. I'm gonna have to revive that shit. I don't even know where that story is, but I'm gonna revive that fucker or something, or at least look it over. I don't know. That irritates me. But anyways, this one needs to be in there, just because it's kind of like a fuck you in a way. Like, I don't know, you have to read it and try to see what I was going with, because it's like, have you considered my servant Job today? Have you considered what the life of a saltine cracker really is? You know, it's created in the factory, and then it's packaged, and it's, you know, it's put on a truck somewhere, and then it's put on a shelf where I come along and accept it as you know, nourishment for my body. I talk about a price being paid. Now, obviously, I'm doing the one paying the price, but, you know, whatever. You can twist it, and again, just whatever. Have fun with that shit, you know, whatever. Anyways, I gotta hurry the fuck up. Now I was at 14%, now I'm down to 10. Fuck you. Anyways, part 3, with many a thought to ponder. I don't know, that could be maybe tweaked. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Doughty Voodoo is a fun story where I swear to Christ, the minute, dude, he went nuts. I even want to try to take this story and maybe put it a sequel in book 3, because he went ham and started nailing everything to the wall. Like, I swear to Christ, he covered the entire wall, and especially with all that voodoo shit from Africa that my mother had in her office, and he had pictures of her and pictures, and then when Betsy moved in, all that shit came down, and random pictures of shit that people she knew. One day I walked out in the living room and it was just me and him, and I'm like, Dale T, who's this person in the picture? And he's like, I don't know, somebody Betsy knows. And I was like, oh, okay, Dale T, you fucking idiot. The platinum card. Oh, the platinum card and a free toaster for Dale T. That story, it's a little dry, because you gotta understand, I'm talking about the transition from the old woman did everything to now we've got to start doing stuff. So he went out and tried to get a quote-unquote a debit card so we could buy stuff online. Well, he ended up getting just some cheap-ass fucking bank who gave him a bank-only card, which means you ain't buying stuff online because it ain't Visa. It's just something you can only do at like 3 locations in upstate New York. Well, what happened is he decided one day that he and I are going to go out to eat. And we get in the car, blah, blah, blah. He's having a bad day because it's hot, there's traffic, and literally traffic is backed up. And we're talking like backed up to Jim's house for some reason. Like they were construction, or I think it was construction. Or there was an accident maybe. No, I think it was construction. Whatever. Anyway, he finally gets to his bank, and he's reaching out the window trying to get this card in. All of a sudden, the card slips out of his hand, and he has to try to get out of the car, which is not a lot of room. And next thing you literally hear him screaming and swearing and cursing, like, goddamn cocksucking motherfucking card, fucker ran, the fucking thing landed under the car. So now he's like ass deep under the car trying to reach for this fucking thing. After a while, he finally gets tired of it, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going inside. So then we leave the freaking teller. Now keep in mind, there's people behind us, and he's outside screaming and cursing, like, unbelievably. And people are just sitting with their windows down waiting to use the fucking ATM. So he hightails it to the fucking bank. He comes out after about 5 minutes with cash in his hand. And then we take off down the road. Next thing you know, he looks over at me and says, where's my wallet? I'm just going to leave it at that. Because I got to get going here. Legion T, I don't know why I put that... I put that story in there to tell about the burning couch. The story has nothing to do with the Legion, other than the fact that the guy who burnt the couch is, I don't know, and proselytizing him for the Legion. I don't know. That story is a little weird because it doesn't really tell anything. Other than that, like I said, I want to tell about the neighbor. So I don't know. You may have to tweak that. I don't know. Murder, She Wrote. There's really not much to tell about that. The day Granny abused me. A Prelude. Yeah, that one's interesting. But I gotta get going here. The Old Woman and the Pumpkin Farm. I fucking love that story. It's just I like that one as much as I like the Seaweed Leg one. Those two to me are like the top, my 2 top favorite. Now, I'm not saying they're good stories, like I wrote them perfectly, but just the ideas that are involved in there, it's essentially like a childhood memory kind of a deal. Anyways, That one definitely I want done right. As in whatever. Let's see, my grandmother's ratchet job and how, in her mind, she has a secret to the universe and doesn't have a problem sharing them with us. Yeah, this is where she ended up. She basically belittled me. I don't know what her problem was. She's like talking to me, that I'm too fat, and that. What was actually funny is that her idea was for me, like if I get hungry late at night, then I should basically, and this is her impotent wisdom, that I should go out and eat 2 saltine crackers, and that'll hold me over. Which then kind of goes back to the saltine cracker story at the top, the salvation, and it was an interesting little whatever. Yeah, these stories all kind of go together, and then this is where we're taking out her AC, blah blah blah. She used to be a good cook. Excuse me. She used to be able to cook. Lord, how times have changed. The day the taste buds died. I love that taste buds died part. That's followed up after we got done with the window. Then my grandmother gave away the money, but not to me. I still have to do that story. I still have to do the taste bud story. The next one is No 50s for Tea, the day Graham withheld funds. I still have to do that one. The Bottom Step Confessionals, I still have to do that. Juror number 27, I still have to do that. Tethered Spine, Ode Relief and Ain't. Pain in the Chof, which is the name of the doctor, Dr. Chow, Dr. Chof, whatever. The drive to court, that's when I got jury duty. Yeah, fuck you. I haven't got to those yet. And then everything else down here except for 2 more. Let's see, the Stifled on the 4th of July. Again, I really want to call it July, but obviously probably a little racist, but whatever. Now that story I actually kind of like. That's the final one of them, obviously, but whatever. Met the greatest shit in the world next to a friend. I love the twist on that. I'm really witty and really proud of myself on that one. Let's see. I didn't realize there was many Ollie stories in here either. So there's Ollie and the King and I, which is kind of fun. A Liar in Cow's Clothing, which is an Ollie story. Crockpot Jezebel, which I still have to do. Having a big ass on the holidays, I still have to do. The holiday ham that was supposed to be, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's why I talk about how to cook a ham. I did like a little PSA there where you how to cook a holiday ham, and explain how I was tired of people fucking over the holiday hams. I like that story too. That was actually kind of fun. Opening gifts with Ollie and the conspiracies that lie ahead. I probably should have worked that up a little bit better, especially the conspiracies part. But it's you kind of hint that there's questionable shit going on there. The day Graham wouldn't give me $200 for a chair, but instead gave the local piccolo player 10 grand. Dale T and my new mom, dear God. Finding out who you are and what you do, Dale T's big surprise. Sad days ahead, a loss of a good friend. A year later on the nickel, and then the epilogue is Where Did My Life Go Wrong Part 1, which is going to lead into the prologue of Book 3, which is Where Did My Life Go Wrong Part 2, and I'm going to talk about when I fell into the septic tank. So, which is going to be a great little transition. When you put that shit together, it's going to be... Dude, I can't express how, and this is only in my own mind, how fun this is trying to, put little hints in one chapter, and then not even doing it purposely necessarily, but having these little callbacks and stuff, and just having this really intricate little woven basket of woe. One last thing, and I got 6 fucking %. This is probably going to end at 5, so it may just cut off. I talk about a story twice. I mean, think of it more like the Gospels, it's kind of like the same story but done twice. I didn't mean to do it, but it worked for both things. And basically, there's 2 different stories that kind of work in and of themselves, so I kind of brought it up in one and then kind of fleshed it out in the other. Hold on, let's see if I can't plug this fucker in. Maybe I can get a couple more minutes here. Um, I mean, I can, but it's not going to last. No, what the story? What the story is about is our dog, the one before Ollie, and I talk about how his mother died. I basically go into this whole thing because we used to keep our dogs outside, like wintertime, and it's just we were it's abuse. I'm sorry, just what we did was abuse, and we were too stupid to know any different. And I want that story in there. In fact, I actually did a PSA of please bring your dogs in, kind of a deal. I mean, it's actually really. I thought it was really. The second part I thought was really good. The first part where I just kind of glossed over it. Um, I kind of like hinted at it and kind of I told the story, but then I went in, like I said, deeper detail later. I really like the story. It just, again, I'm not saying I worded it wonderfully or it was coherent in that sense, but just the overall tone and what I was trying to convey about people who leave their animals outside, because it goes into this thing where Jean was a total fucking bitch, just straight up obnoxious bitch. And well, I'll just do a quick synopsis of that. Basically, what happened was years ago we had this one neighbor, and they had this little yippy dog, like yip 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 yip, yip, like all day, 24 hours a day, and would not stop. And they wouldn't bring the dog in. And dog wanted to come in, which is why it was yipping all the fucking time. Because, dogs want company. They want to be with people. They want to be under the blanket, And I go into all that stuff. Anyways, the old woman had to basically go out and yell over the fence and say, hey, my husband works 12-hour shifts and he needs his rest. Could you please, try to keep a handle on your dog? Which, I don't know if it was technically fair because Ollie would do the same thing, technically. But whatever, that was kind of the catalyst. And once Jean got wind of it, she started going ham on that concept of confronting the neighbor. In fact, she did it like 3 different times in 3 different places. Anyway, those people eventually moved out not that long after. The next set came in, and they, instead of having a dog, they had 2 young girls who would be out there kind of playing, little kids playing, like, yeah, bullshit. Well, Jean would have her window open. Of course, she thought the entire world only revolved around her. So one day she yells out the fucking window, telling the kids to please keep it down, and just being a complete bitch. Well, not too long after that, they left. We're not good with our neighbors, apparently. And the next group comes in. Well, apparently, what happened there was they had another dog outside. It was a young guy. He had a dog outside, and now, Jean wasn't technically wrong on this one, because the guy was kind of being abusive to the dog, although not like physically or like smashing the dog's tits in or anything, but I don't know, he left the dog outside like all the time. And Jean got really pissed off and was like, I'm going to call the Humane Society if you keep this up. Well, whatever happened, now apparently the guy did make some changes. He got a little doghouse out there, because the dog didn't even have a doghouse. He was just literally on the porch all day, all night. That was just where he was, and nobody, like there were times, like she would look out the window and there was like no food, no water, and she kept track of that shit. Which again, I understand. I understand why she was upset in that case. Why she was bitching at the girls, I don't know, but whatever. This case I could get, but she ended up calling the Humane Society, and again, it was weird because the guy was like all, respectful and was like, oh, I understand, I'll try to do better, blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently she called the Humane Society, they took the dog away, and the guy threatened to kill Jean. Yeah. Anyways, that was, in fact, when she moved up here, and I even mentioned this, I was like, I didn't want to spoil anything for book 3, but when Jean moved up here, she did the same thing to somebody on the East Road, the neighbor next door. She pulled in and was like, you need to take that dog inside, and blah, blah, blah. But whatever. So, again, there's There's two of the same dog story because the dog's name was Corky. Dale T named him Corky. And he's a little blonde dog, and like I said, the first one, it had purpose in the story that I told it, obviously, and then I went on and I actually wanted to uh, almost preface Gene's yelling out the window and confronting the neighbors with the dog. So in other words, we have the whole, we left our dogs out, we're a bunch of assholes, we shouldn't have done it because dogs are unique and they like to be under the blanket, they like to play around, and we missed out on a lot of that dog's life and his mother's life because we were ignorant and stupid. And I know for a fact that I was the son of a bitch and I didn't always want to go out there and feed and water the dog. And the dog was just so happy to see me, and I was like, fuck you. I was a complete asshole. So I started the chapter off with that, and then led into Gene bitching and complaining that people are leaving their dogs out. Which again, I totally understand, and which is why I put the opening part that I did, that we fucked up and we're like, you gotta understand, like, the thought of leaving even Ollie or Lucy outside in the winter, that's just, I mean, it's like that dog literally paved the way for the dogs that we have had, whatever. I mean, like shit. I mean, Lucy had a spoiled life, like ice cream and cookies, and just, we were trying to make up for all the bullshit we did to the other dog. And again, we didn't mean to. It was just, we're upstate hick, idiot, fucking lowbred. Like, oh, you have a dog, you keep the dog chained up outside. It's just what you do. And it's that idiotic, fucking retarded mentality that pisses me off, which was the point of the freaking story. And I like the story. I think it's a good story. It has a bunch of layers to it. It has a bunch of like sections and moments to it, but, and I'm not saying they necessarily flow into one another perfectly, but there's definitely something there, I think, and it's just, I don't know. But anyway, that's just a quick recap of the table of contents. And like I said, I got maybe 5 or 6 more stories. Tonight is Friday again. This is at 6%, which means it's already 5 o'clock. It's at 6%. Which means I'll probably only be able to get 1 or 2 stories done before I have to recharge again. So I'm hoping tomorrow to be finished with the initial run through of everything. I'll probably take the rest of Saturday. I'm going to try to finish it up tonight if I can, again, depending on the battery. Because I could sit over, but again, I'm saying the cord's like 2 inches long, and I'm not comfortable. So I have to unplug it to kind of roll over and get comfortable, and it's a pain in the ass. But my goal is to try to finish it tonight, and then tomorrow I want to go through and try to find quotes for everything, or as much as everything as I can. I did a little of that tonight. I had like 6 or 7, but I think we're pretty good, because what I did is I found quotes that I wanted, and then I went to chapters that didn't have any quotes, and I was like, okay, this is what it's about, and then I went and tried to look for them again on Pearls of Peter. And some of them were really good. I think like 1 or 2 were kind of like, I'll just stick it here, kind of a deal. So again, the quotes can go either way. Like most of the ones, you'll know the ones I really want to keep, obviously. Like I got a couple Woody Allen. Like I said, I want to try to keep it kind of condensed to just me, maybe some Lewis Black, maybe a couple song lyrics from Johnny Cash, just some basic stuff, not going completely insane with it. But, it is what it is. But that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, and so hopefully maybe late tomorrow night, early Sunday, I'll have the entire thing sent to you for your perusing enlightenment. So, yeah, I'm fucking almost done, and I'm really happy about that shit. Because I found a clip, and I don't even know, I think it was like 2 years ago when I was first doing this, or maybe it was last year, and I was talking about, I did this, and I did that, I took this out, I took that out, And it's the same book. It wasn't like the first book. Like, it wasn't like a clip like this about the first one. It was about this one, so it was weird. So it's been a while. So to actually get it done, which kind of sucks because when you're done, then I got to kind of go through it one more time, and you'll probably have to go through it one more time. Just, you know, like anything that I did or wanted to change, which I don't think there's going to be all that much. I mean, but again, it's just a quick one run through. And I definitely wouldn't mind another set of eyes on that motherfucker, because no offense, but your eyes kind of went dirt in the first one. Dude, there's a couple fuck ups in that first one that I was really surprised with. Like, I'm trying to remember. There's two specific. There's a couple, like, two spelling mistakes at least, and there's one section where it's like I think a word was completely missed and left out, or like a whole sentence. Or it was something that was weird where it's like, and then we went. Oh, by the way, it was this weird little transition, which was kind of funny, especially with the whole "we don't need no stinking editor" edition. So it's like, did we do it purposely? Did we really fuck up? You know, it's you know, it was kind of fun actually when you think about it, but whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I want to? Because again, this is it. This is it. I don't think there's much else to talk about, really. I do have another clip that I didn't post yesterday. In fact, I didn't even title it yet. I'll have to send it. I'll have to post it. I'll have to upload it. I forgot what it's about, though. I think it's book related, but I forgot. So whatever. I'll have to send it to you. Again, I want to think if there's anything quick because I don't want to have to make another clip. I told you basically about everything. Actually, let me check something. I just want to get a final little heads up of what's going on here. Let's go all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom. Scroll. Again, I'm going to send you the table of contents separate because, like I said, I found it easier to have it separate, like if I needed to refer to it, instead of having to scroll all the way back to the top and then try to scroll all the way back down and try to find where I am. I don't know. So I'll send you the table of contents separate, and then I'll actually add it into the final book. Now, the final book, without all the right spacing of the chapters and the table of contents added, I'm at 187 pages with 152,737 words. Now, I haven't done the other sections, so I may delete some stuff or add some stuff. That ain't bad, though. 152,000, almost 153. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all, I think. Again, I was shooting for 120 pages, but, well, like if you wanted to add that one section in there, I talked about earlier, I even forgot what the hell it was. What was it I said, if you wanted to add to it? Whatever. I can't even remember. But shit, you want to add anything to it, go ahead. I don't give a fuck. You got a chapter or something you want to throw in there? Or you, shit, you're... Like, I talk about going to, what the fuck is it? The Pumpkin Farm, Cackleberry Castle. You know, you got an experience there, you talk about it, throw it in, I don't give a fuck. Pad that fucker up as far as I care. But yeah, I'm almost at 200 pages. I'm a little disappointed I'm not over 200 pages, just because it's like I'm so close. But I think, shit, man, if we put the table of contents, there's at least 2. Maybe closer to 3. Actually, no, it will be about 3. So now we're talking 190, and then by the time we do everything, it's going to be over 200 pages. Especially if we scroll everything down. You know, put each chapter on a separate page. Because right now, it's like the one chapter ends, and then like space, the next one starts. So again, if we're doing it, like each chapter starts on a fresh page, I mean, shit, yeah, we got probably close to 200. I mean, shit, that ain't bad, actually. That ain't bad at all. Fuck, I'm proud of myself on that shit. Again, I'm a little disappointed it's not 300. I really wanted to go for 300. Because again, man, imagine having a fucking trilogy of 300 plus books. I mean, that's like War and Peace type shit right there. But, hey, whatever. Anyway, I think that's about all I got to say for this because, I'll be honest, I'm tired. I don't really care. And I want to try to charge this so that I can actually come back later and do some more of the fucking stories so I can get done and have it up to you. If not, it'll be Sunday. I kind of want to get it up to you Saturday night. Just because. Not that I'm going to rush right into it Sunday morning because I can, we probably got shit to do, church and all that stuff, but whatever. Sooner I get it to you, sooner I get done and get it to you, the better for me. That's all I care about. Because that way I'm done. I don't know, I'm actually very excited. The fact that I'm actually almost done. One thing I noticed, I fucking don't put in commas, man. I'm almost afraid I put in too many commas now because it's like every few words, comma, blah, blah, blah. It's like I don't know, man. It's just little stupid things. But I've been really having fun with this. I do wish Pages wasn't so fucking anal, though. It's really good on the tablet. I use it on the tablet. I close it down, and it instantly uploads. But I found that on the MacBook, I think what happened was when I took the MacBook outside to work, when I came back in, because I had left the premises, the fucking internet didn't work. So I had to go in, I had to go up at the top, click the little internet button, click turn off, and then turn back on. And then when I hit save, then it uploaded. Because I thought, just take it out, and then when I come back in and get within range, it'll be ready to go. Well, it apparently wasn't. And I think that's a problem, because it doesn't do it, super fast. You have to upload, you have to save, and then wait a few seconds, and then check it on the tablet. And it could just be a little more user-friendly like that. It's just, I don't know. Because that's what happened. I did a bunch of work on the freaking laptop, and for whatever reason, it didn't save. And it kind of pissed me off. So, I don't know, whatever. It's kind of exciting, I'm not going to lie. Now, whether anything becomes of it, that's in your ballpark now, motherfucker. That's up to you. That's all up to you. Because, well, like I said, I'm done. Almost done. Whatever. I'll tell you, I've been working on it. I've literally been working on it. This has been super difficult for me. My back is completely fucked up because I've been laying here in the bed. I've been laying here in the bed for the longest fucking time. And I'm telling you right now, it's absolutely bullshit crazy. I have been putting in legit fucking work, dude. I have put in actual hours on this, and it just, my back is all fucked up. My back is legitimately sore. And I don't know. I'm kind of excited, but not to start book 3, because book 3 is not even compiled yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a page of just the table of contents, and then I'm going to do the actual stories and try to compile everything. Because I got a bunch of stuff done. I just got to tweak it and find where it needs to go, and then actually go through it and read it, which I think that's going to be an easier read because my writing has gotten better, which is odd, but not great. But because I noticed some of the newer stuff, I'm scrolling through a lot faster. And some of it is just, it was comma here, 3, and then da da da, comma there, da 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 da, da. you know, I don't know. And the punctuation isn't right. I know it's not 100% correct. It's more than it was. And I apologize because the layout's fucked up, the tabs are all fucked up. All that stuff is going to be a pain in the ass to have to do. Like I said, I skipped in 10 only because 5 didn't look good. I didn't like the way 5 looked. So when I did 10, I actually, again, I'm using the fucking tablet going length, the horizontal fucking tablet, so it was kind of, it is what it is. So that's going to be a problem for you, and I know that. When I did, again, I don't know if you want, like, when we first did the original book, and even though I think it's printed, if I'm not mistaken, is that the title of each chapter was in the middle, and then we had the things underneath, the quotes underneath. That's kind of how I set it up here. But the way it was originally set up, the way you had originally lined it out, was everything was to the left. Like the title was at the left. Everything was center left, if you will. Or not center left, but you know what I mean. So that might be problematic. Again, I don't know what you want to do. I just kind of went with the text that was there. It's like Hellavana or Hellavenic or Hella something or other. Font size 10. That's just kind of what I went with because it was the default, and I was like, okay, I like the way this looks, fine. So all that shit's probably fucked up, but you know that going in. Let's see, anything else? Like I said, I spaced in 10, so again, I don't know if you want to keep the 10 or go to 5 or whatever, because this tablet does not have a tab, and that's just a way to do it, and I don't have a clue, but it's a little late now. I'm literally almost done, so whatever. Is anything else? There's always something else. Damn it! Every time I finish these, like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh shit, I wanted to say this, or oh shit, I wanted to say that. Anyways, like I said, I'm excited for this. I'm a little more excited for this than I was the first book, because there's more stories to me that are more personal. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all personal, but like, if I could get a physical copy of book 2 alongside with book 1, and just the amount of stories and context and shit that happened, and just having it in printed form, it would be really awesome. Like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about book 3, because book 3 is more about just everybody moving in, them throwing me out, the whole 9. Where book 2 is more about my mother. We went to, it's more of a reflection of that kind of stuff. Like, we went to the pumpkin farm, we went out to eat, we did a bunch of stuff, we went to the movie. It's just more, like I said, more of a reflection, where book 3 is going to be more of just a kick in the nuts. So, I don't know, whatever. My throat's starting to get all fucked up. What the hell? I don't know if you can hear that, but my throat's all fucked up. Anyways, I'm going to have to end this because I'm boring myself. I'm just, like, my tone is like all monotone in my ear, and it's just, because I'm kind of laying awkwardly. I have this fucking thing plugged in, and it's really kind of pissing me off that they give me a fucking 2-inch cord, and I'm too cheap to buy a longer one, because the last time I did, because it was so long, it got wrapped up in something and it ended up breaking, and it's just I can't afford like $10 fucking cords every 5 minutes. Anyways. Oh, another thing, I want fucking play-by-play. Like, if you're LOL, I want to know exactly what you're saying. I want you to like, send sections that are funny. I literally want play-by-play everything that you're doing. I know it's a pain. I know it's probably a pain in the ass to stop. You're like, oh, you should, and then like post a quote or something. But you know, and again, if there's something you don't understand, ask me, like, what the hell in the fuck did you mean? Because I found that happen. I was reading some stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck was I saying? I don't even know what the hell I was saying. Like, I had to rework couple whole sentence structures. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And I wish I had more of a wherewithal as far as, like, punctuation and spelling and all that shit goes. I mean, considering the circumstances, you know, just the whole brain damage at child. I mean, literally, I was brain damaged as a child. I mean, it really was. Now, granted, it was my spine, but my spine's connected to my brain, so it's technically a very much brain damage. You know, and the fact that I even survived is fucking a miracle in and of itself. But whatever. Anyways, yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna call it quits. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I want to take a nap. Anyways, that's it. Fuck you. Enjoy reading this because there's some good. There's a couple places I actually LOL, and it's my shit, and I even know what the story is, and I was actually LOLing a couple times. Just especially Dale T. Dale T is a fucking hoot in this book because again, he's still the good guy. You know, Gene's still the bitch, and he's still the good guy, and blah blah blah. And then you're gonna start to see a little twist, a little change where it's like, oh, I'm an asshole. And Gene's like, I'm an asshole too. And they're like fighting for, you know, contention of asshole shit, you know? Shit, I should write about that. I just wish I could sit down with my fucking computer and just write like a normal person. Because with that, I could just plug it in. I could just go. I wouldn't have to sit here and worry about the stupid battery. I wouldn't have to sit here with this 2-inch fucking cord. But I can't sit for any length of time, and it's just bullshit. And I can't bring the laptop over because it's like I want to type regular, not just like one finger it. I one finger on the keypad here on this tablet. That's fine. But when I got my computer, I want to actually have my fingers in the right position and type like you're supposed to type. And it's just I can't do it any other way. And I don't want to do it any other way. That's the thing. I just, like I said, I wish I could sit and just fucking type. Take it outside and just sit there and just type. Because if I could just write my fucking book and just do it like a normal person would, holy shit. Whatever. Yeah, because I really enjoyed it. It was great. I was out there, I had some music, I was outside on the deck. I got that table out there. I got that chair. I was sitting out there. I had my music going. I just wish I had something to drink. I wish I had some tea or something. Like, and not like homemade tea. I'm talking like lip. I don't know. Maybe that Pure Leaf or whatever, or even a Gold Peak. Oh, dude, some of that would be fucking phenomenal right now. Oh, I'd guzzle that shit like nobody. I'd guzzle that like an old broad's dick. I swear to God. Anyways, like I said, I gotta go. I'm tired. Fuck you. I don't want to end it because I know there's something else. There's something else I want to say about the book, and it's just like I said. I'm geared up. I'm geared into this, so it's like I don't mean to be sending like 500 like book updates, but it's just like it's fresh in my head, and I want to like talk about it, and it's just who else the fuck is there to talk about it? So I don't know if these clips have been boring. This one's kind of dull to me. It's my monotone and just my mouth is dry and I'm tired and just whatever. Anyways, I'm done. I'll talk to you later. Fuck you.